1, 2, 3, 4.
Chant down Babylon kingdom, team make we chant down Vatican now. Bang bling bling, chant down Babylon kingdom, team make we chant down Vatican now. Chant down Babylon kingdom, team make we chant down Vatican now. Bang bling bling, chant down Babylon kingdom, team make we chant down Vatican now.
What up, y'all? It's Babylon 5 Podcast. It's your boy, Jermaine Event. How you guys doing? This is episode 128. I'm going to call this bad boy All My Goals. We are calling this bad boy All My Goals, ladies and gentlemen. Because you've touched my heart. You've all touched my soul. You've changed my life and all my goals. I hope you guys' week has been phenomenal. And I hope the following week here, whenever you guys are hearing this, but as I'm saying this right now, I hope the following week is just better than the last, and the next one after that is just better than the last. That's what I want for you all. So, welcome to the Babylon 5 Podcast with your boy, Jermaine Event, as I've said. And we're going to talk about, on episode 128, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about your boy. I'm not claiming this dude. This is your boy, Joe Rogan. We're going to talk about your boy, Joe Rogan, and this whole Spotify situation. We're going to talk about some Khabib, little Eagle, you know what I'm saying? You guys peeping the shirt here? Little Khabib, little Eagle FC. We're going to talk about Ufc Vegas 47. I might touch on a little bit of Ozark, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, a little spoiler alert for that. I might touch on a little Ozark. I might give you all my 2 cents on that. And then some. Maybe we throw some curveballs at you. I got some topics here for you ladies and gentlemen. I got some topics. So if you guys would like to follow this podcast, pardon me. If you guys would like to follow this podcast on Instagram and Twitter, it's at Babylon5Pod. If you guys would like to follow my personal account, it's at My Name's Jermaine. You guys could email this podcast at Babylon5podcast@gmail.com. If you guys are listening to this podcast, hit that like button wherever you guys are listening to this podcast. Hit that share button. Share it to your Twitter stream. Share it to Facebook. Share it everywhere. Share it to your Discord. Let the niggas know that you fucks with the Babylon 5 podcast. Let these niggas know. Let these niggas know. And you guys could follow this podcast on Twitch. If you're on Twitch, go to twitch.tv/Babylon5. You guys could buy a t-shirt. I know I said I was going to update the merchandise. I didn't get around to it. But cop some of the older merchandise. Go to teespring.com/store/BOFpod-shop. And lastly, head on over to patreon.com/Babylon5Pod and be my patron. Be my patron. And as we're talking about patrons, in some way, I'm segueing to niggas no longer patronizing Spotify, nigga. You know, it was weird because when Joe Rogan first went to Spotify, a bunch of people that worked for Spotify were protesting Joe Rogan being there. And honestly, the vibe was like, yeah, shut up. You know what I'm saying? Like, the vibe was like, whatever. Hipsters. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was the vibe niggas had toward the employees at Spotify that did not want Joe Rogan there. It was kind of like, whatever, hipsters. And I kind of felt that way too. But mind you, I'm a huge, you guys know this podcast. I'm a huge MMA guy, a huge UFC guy, so I mainly like only listen to the Joe Rogan podcast that had like an MMA fighter or something, or maybe even like Rico Verhoeven, like just like combat sports athletes, coaches. If they have something to do with combat sports, that's pretty much for me the only episodes that I personally watch or that I listened to back in the day. I don't really listen to Joe anymore. But when I did, I would usually skip. It'd be like some random doctor, and I would skip that episode. I would have no interest in this random doctor or whatever the fuck they were talking about. And then usually those were the episodes, unfortunately, for Joe, that people were like, yo, get this nigga off the air. It's funny because, as I'm saying, I never really thought he was a funny stand-up comedian or anything like that. I felt like he should just stick to like doing podcasts. But even with podcasts, it's like he should stick to just talking about MMA. Like maybe that's what's best for a lot of us, is just to just to stick to MMA. Because like then it was like, what was it, a couple weeks ago they were interviewing Dana White, and they asked him like what he thought about, because Dana White was preaching about the ivermectin, as we all know, saying how his family was healed thanks to Dr. Joe Rogan. Jokingly, he said, and he was defending him. He was defending the whole thing, and people were like, "Yo, are you a doctor? Are you a doctor?" But he was referencing that he took advice from Joe Rogan, and there's no reason why they shouldn't be able to like spread that. But apparently, like Joe is like spreading misinformation on like just a number of subjects, not even just like vaccines, but we're talking about like climate change, like all kinds of shit. I seen it where Trevor Noah was trying to talk sternly to this nigga because he apparently said he doesn't feel like people who aren't 100% African should be called black. Apparently, of his white opinion, he's decided who should be called black. He's decided. It's just weird, man. It's weird. I used to listen to this nigga. When I worked at Whole Foods, I was the store scanning specialist. I hung signs and put up price tags and shit, among other things, but the most of my time was spent in an office, and I had a vape pen, and I'd just be stoned out of my mind. My office was upstairs, far away from customers. There was a fucking single-person bathroom up there. I could just go vape in the bathroom, go chill in my office, do my work alone, listening to Joe Rogan. Nigga, that was the days back in the day. But as I'm saying, unless it was somebody like involved in MMA, and back in those days, that's back when he used to live stream the interviews. There would be a live stream. And then there was like issues with the comments. I knew like the comments, man, fucking YouTube comments, a live stream, a YouTube comment section is nasty. Like, don't look in there. It's just nasty. So like, I remember like the comments got shut off, and then they just like stopped going live. Stopped doing them live, unfortunately. I liked it a lot better when they were live, watching that shit live. Well, I'm a live tweeting type nigga, live tweeting the moment, you know what I'm saying? I'm that kind of nigga, as you guys see. I like to do that a lot with UFC, like the live tweet in the moment. So that was, you know, that's as we're here, you know, I can't say that inspiration to start this podcast, like part of that doesn't come from Joe and what he's done with martial arts and podcasting. I can't say I wasn't influenced, but I've definitely grown up and grown to tune out. Like, I remember, like, man, this nigga Joe Rogan was defending Kyle Rittenhouse for some shit. I forgot what his argument was. He was like, oh yeah, he should have shot them because they were chasing him. I was like, nigga, they was chasing him because he just shot another nigga. What are you talking about, nigga? But it's just, I don't know, it was like, even before that, it was like a lot of moments with Joe where I was just like, but even so, like, when people were saying, like, I remember somebody said, like, yo, he had a white supremacist. I feel like my friend Jacob had said that to me, right? Said he had a white supremacist on his show. But as I'm telling you, if it didn't have anything to do with MMA, like, I didn't listen to those episodes, so I had no idea what he was talking about for, like, years. And then I went back and was like, oh, shit, that's, like, he had, like, the Proud Boys on here, like, the leader of this whole organization. Which you might say, like, oh, why can't he do it? But it's funny because there's, like, an episode of the show, I don't remember what it's called at this point. It's with that fucking, the girl from fucking Saturday Night Live, the heavier girl from Saturday Night Live. I'm fucking blanking on her name, but it's a pretty dope ass show. And she goes out and interviews these fucking white supremacists on this fucking, like, compound and give these people a platform. And that set off her black friend who had to, like, yo, you fucking saw no problem in, like, giving these people, these kind of people, a platform. Like, you could have used that platform for anything, but you chose to give these people that platform. And that's the lesson to be learned there with Joe Rogan. It's a lot of people. I didn't understand, as I'm telling you guys, I tuned out a lot of the non-MMA episodes. I tuned it out, so a lot of people would be like, man, fuck Joe Rogan. And I honestly didn't understand because I was interested in the MMA episodes. And then I'm seeing, like, if I'm going back to this, they were interviewing Dana White, and they asked him what he thought about, like, it was like 200 doctors were protesting Spotify because Joe Rogan was spreading misinformation. And he was, like, defending that shit. Dana White was defending Joe Rogan from that shit. And now I'm seeing that fucking a bunch of top artists are threatening to remove their music unless Spotify, removes Joe Rogan, apparently. Which I doubted. They were saying this nigga, like, averages, like, 11 million listeners per episode. Good luck. 11 million. They're paying him $100 million. And he averages 11 million listeners per episode. Good luck. I don't know. I seen some lists had plenty niggas on there like Taylor Swift, this nigga, that nigga. Real niggas that pulled their music. Neil Young, nigga Joni Mitchell. I don't know. I'm pretty much completely unfamiliar with any of their music. Like, I seen it was like, oh shit, Neil Young, nigga. Oh shit, not Joni Mitchell. Not these 70-year-olds. I'm just unfamiliar. I was like, if the article was like, and Drake, I'd be like, what? Drake? Drake is taking his music off there in protest of this shit? Somebody very relevant right now is taking their music off of this platform in protest of this UFC commentator? Like, that'd be a little more interesting. But I feel like Neil Young and Joni Mitchell, my nigga, might not be the ones to, I don't know, I seen, it was a rumor that the Foo Fighters, Dave Grohl's going to remove the Foo Fighters music, apparently. There's a rumor. James Blunt joked, he threatened to release new music unless they remove Joe Rogan. I, for one, fucking love James Blunt. I love me some James Blunt. And that's why this episode is called You Changed My Life and All My Goals. Episode 128, All My Goals, is an ode to my nigga James Blunt. Ladies and gentlemen, don't threaten me with a great time, James, because I need you to drop that fucking album. Honestly, I looked up. This nigga's been dropping music. I was thinking the other day, like, man, how come I ain't heard from James I ain't heard from James in a minute. Where's James? I ain't heard from James in a minute. My nigga James. And turns out this nigga's been dropping music like pretty consistently. I just ain't heard it. I just ain't heard it. I guess he didn't have no Your Beautifuls, no 1973s on there. He ain't no 1973s on there. So we ain't hear it. Now we gotta go searching for the James Blunt. That's not, who would have thought that'd be our life? That we had to go searching for the new James Blunt. We never knew that was gonna be our life, but we're here. It's 2020 and we gotta go searching for the new James Blunt. It's not on your airwaves. They're not playing it for you for some reason. You ever think about that? They're not playing the new James Blunt for you, but they're still playing 1973. Think about that for a second. I don't know what the fuck that means. I don't know what that means, but I fucking would love some, just some bangers from my boy James Blunt. I've been annoying my wife lately listening to a lot of James Blunt. Well, a lot of it's just 3 songs repeatedly. It's just 3 songs. I'm not super familiar with it. It's just 3 songs that I'm really into. And he could come out with a 4th that might be a banger. Who knows? I don't know. I never really, I never did it. But it said that, like, Spotify lost about, like, 25% of its market value. I looked it up. Dang. Maybe I missed that one. But, because I was like, nigga, buy right now. I'm in sync in that bitch. Let me on there. I'm buying some fucking Spotify stock today. But it went down, from when all I saw, it went down like $10. Like, unless I miss the fucking bubble, is this or a bubble would be probably when it's going up. Bubble would be when it's going up. But whatever, I missed the fucking perfect time to get in there on Spotify. Because it's going to go back up. This is just a blip in time. This is a blip in time. All right, let's stop playing these games. Like Spotify is not gonna be all right. All right, that's what I'm saying. It's gotta be a real nigga. It's gotta be a real nigga, and I mean like Kendrick. It's gotta be a real nigga that's like. It's gotta be like 5 real niggas. Gotta be like Beyonce, Eminem. Gotta be like, I'm taking my music. It's got to be Eminem versus Joe Rogan before they even consider taking Joe Rogan off there. You're gonna need Eminem. How black are you, Eminem? This is the time. This is is this a black fight? I don't know. I don't think this is a black fight. Never mind. Let's use our efforts elsewhere. Let's use our efforts elsewhere, but I don't know what's going to happen here, man. This is crazy. It's just interesting to me for, like, if you're a Joe Rogan, like, let's say this podcast, I sign a contract, right, with Spotify, and instantly like, a bunch of niggas that work for Spotify was like, nah, I'm gonna fucking quit if you work with that dude. I'd be like, yo, they hate. I might be like, right away, like, yo, they hating. But part of me is like, why are they saying that, you know? Part of me is gonna be like, why are they saying that? And if I still feel like, yo, I'm just 100% right. Like, I went to Joe Rogan's concert when he came here. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, honestly, a mistake. But it was an honest mistake. An honest mistake. You know what I'm saying? But I went to see Joe Rogan when he came to town. And the nigga kept saying, like, y'all, like, who would listen to me on medical advice? Why would you guys listen to anything I'm saying? I'm just a comedian. Like, he kept trying to drive home that point that he's just a guy who gets high and drinks with his friends and says wacky stuff. So it's your fault if you listen to him. That was one thing that he kept repeating throughout his special, which I thought was insane. And now, as you got like hundreds of doctors protesting him, all these like musicians, like, yo, I'm removing my music from this platform unless you get this nigga out of here. Unless you get this nigga out of here. At one point, does he go like, damn, I'm fucking up. I'm fucking up. Doctors are like, yo, get this nigga out of here. Like, at that point, I would have been like, these niggas hating. But I really would have been like, damn, did I fuck up with that last guest? You know what I'm saying? I would have been like, damn, did I fuck up with that last guest? Right away. Because at this point, all these niggas can't be hating. And by the time it gets to the music, it's like, damn, I'm fucking up. I gotta address this because I'm clearly fucking up. That's how you think. That's how I feel a person. I feel like you could get to that conclusion a lot quicker than what I'm explaining here, but I'm trying to give a little bit of leeway here for my boy Joe. I'm giving a little bit of leeway. It's weird. It's just weird. So I don't know what's gonna happen here, man. I don't think they're gonna get rid of Joe Rogan. Not with just Joni Mitchell and Neil Young. Or even the Foo Fighters. It's gotta be Eminem. Like, real talk. Like, it's gotta be Eminem. The guy they were just announcing broke the record for streams. It's gotta be somebody like that. I'm not just saying like, oh, you're saying your favorite rapper. Like, no, the guy they just announced has the most streams ever. That guy has to remove his catalog in order for anything to happen. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So we just had Eagle FC 47, Khabib. The Eagles promotion, his 44th event, the first one in the United States. I'm not sure where it was. Commentary team was like some guy, I wasn't sure, but it was like Kamaru Usman, Chael Sonnen, and Henry Cejudo. It was a 4-man team. And, yo, that's pretty star-studded. You got Kamaru, who's basically pound for pound, well, he is pound for pound number one fighter in the world. Henry Cejudo, former champ, 2-division champion, Olympic gold medalist, Triple C, man. You got, you know what I'm saying? Triple C, man. That was a pretty star-studded commentary team. Only fight I was honestly, my prediction for the Eagle FC show was that we're just about to see a bunch of Russians, like, do what Khabib does. Just wrestle, fuck, and just dominate these people. And sure enough, that was happening. And then I was watching the fight that I was really interested in. It was Rashad Evans versus, I'm not sure who he fought. Honestly, I don't know the name of the guy. But he looked really good. Like, the guy was probably like 25 years old, if I'm not mistaken. He was a lot bigger than Rashad. Rashad dominated him with the wrestling. Dominated him in the grappling exchange. Just kept getting to a side control. It was just like dominating him with the control and overall damage from top control. Like, so Rashad Evans looked good in his return. His first win since I believe it said 2013, since 2013. His first fight since 2013. Or it could be 2017. I could be wrong. First win, Jesus Christ. Now I gotta look that up. Because I'm feeling like that's fucking wrong. I don't think it's 2013. Let's look up, this is my boy Rashad. Oh boy. I just don't want him to get knocked out. You know what I'm saying? Oh wow, the Anthony Smith loss was his last fight before this? I wasn't even aware of that. His fight with Anthony Smith in 2018 was his last fight before this one. He fought Gabriel Checo at Eagle FC. And he looks pretty good. Damn, he lost to Sam Alvey? I'm not hating on Sam Alvey, but damn. Well, he lost to Glover. Yeah, that's going to happen. Ryan Bader, that's a big boy. Damn, yeah, his last win before that was 2013 against Chael Sonnen. Damn, his last 2 wins before that was Chael Sonnen and Dan Henderson. Listen to these names, nigga. Think about that. That's a whole different era of fighters. That's a whole different era. Chael Sonnen and Dan Henderson. Before that, he lost to Antonio Nogueira. Listen. Before that, he lost to John Jones, a young John Jones. Young John Jones. Damn, man. Phil Davis. He beat Phil Davis. He beat Tito Ortiz, nigga. This is a veteran. All right? This is a veteran through and through. That was his first win since 2013. Shout out to Rashad Evans. But Eagle FC the production looks really good. Like the promos were super crispy. Yeah, I liked it a lot. They did the whole ref cam. The refs were wearing like the glasses with the cameras on the side. That was pretty cool to get just like cool different angles you don't get when you watch the UFC. But it wasn't like they didn't do like cheesy stats, like cheesy nonsense. It was just good fights, different angles. It was pretty cool. I liked it. I thought it was good, man. I'm interested in the next Eagle FC event, man. It was a pretty good event. I know they got Kevin Lee versus Diego Sanchez coming up next. I'm definitely going to be interested in watching that. This fight took place on a Friday. It seems like I'm pretty busy on Saturdays these days, so hopefully the next one takes place on a Friday so I can watch that one live. And we got UFC Vegas 47 coming up. And it's a lot of bangers on here, honestly. A lot of bangers. This is going to be a real good card. The headline is Sean Strickland versus Jack Hermansen, dude. I don't know. I think that fight is pretty even on the feet, but I would have to give it to Hermansen on the ground. So, I think it's more interesting if Strickland wins this fight. I kind of want Strickland to lose because I'm just not into a lot of the things he's been saying on social media recently. It's just like these things that just don't need to be said, just gross things. You know what I'm saying? So I just, I think it's more interesting if Strickland wins, but I would prefer to see him lose here. I'm rooting for Hermansen because Strickland needs a reality check. But it's much more interesting if he wins. So that's going to be a great fight. That's my prediction right now, is that that's going to be a great fight. Shavkat Rakhmonov fights Carlston Harris. I honestly, I don't know too much about Carlston Harris, to be honest. I was trying to look up some shit. I was saying that this is probably, I think this is his third fight in the UFC. I think it's also Shavkat Rakhmonov's third fight in the UFC. I've mentioned Rakhmonov as one of the toughest fights I see at 170 for Kamaru Usman. I think the fight that we're gonna see that's gonna be real crazy, the inevitable matchup, maybe trilogy fight for the championship, will be Khamzat Chimaev versus Shavkat Rakhmonov. That's the future of the welterweight division, okay? So that, I'm telling you right now, I'm going with Shavkat Rakhmonov to beat Carlston Harris. I don't know much about Carlston Harris. Maybe by the time the fight comes around, I pick on Saturday, and you'll see that I've gone with Carlston Harris. But nope, I'm going to go with Rakhmonov. I'm sticking with Rakhmonov. So I'm just pointing out that that's a fight to keep an eye on. It's a fighter to keep your eye on. This is going to be the future of the welterweight division here. Also, you got, from the Ultimate Fighter, this last season of the Ultimate Fighter, we have Treyshawn Gore versus Brian Battle. Like, this is the fight that should have been the finale. This should have been the championship fight, but Treyshawn Gore got injured right before the fight, so they replaced him with a guy from I think Brian Battle's team that was eliminated. They brought him back to fight Brian in the finale. Yeah, I think it's the guy that Treyshawn beat. But anywho, I thought Treyshawn was going to go in there and win the whole thing. I think pretty much everybody had Treyshawn as the favorite. I'm pretty sure he's the favorite going into this fight here. I just want to see what Treyshawn Gore looks like in the UFC. I'm glad that they signed him after he got hurt and wasn't able to compete in the finals. But yeah, now we're getting that fight, Brian Battle versus Treyshawn Gore. And yeah, I'm going with Treyshawn Gore in that one. I'm just real hyped for that fight. I'm happy they put it on the main card. Like, that's some pretty cool shit right there. If I do say so myself, that's some pretty cool shit. But they got some good fights throughout that whole card. If I can, Punahele Soriano versus Nick Maximov. That's an interesting fight to watch. Like, Nick Maximov is the protege of Nick Diaz, or Nate Diaz. He's Nate Diaz's protege. And he's the one who, when they tried to get Nate to fight Khamzat, he was like, yo, don't be a bitch, fight my homeboy. He pointed to Nick Maximov, who was already scheduled in this fight to fight Punahele Soriano. I don't think that Nick Maximov is going to win this fight. I think he's going to get beat up in there. I felt like he lost his fight against Cody Brundage. Like, I don't know, he just seemed kind of timid in there to me. And he just seemed like he was getting hit. So, he just seemed like he was getting hit. I was watching it, you know. It didn't seem like the nigga was getting hit. I felt like he lost that fight. I don't feel like he's gonna be good enough to beat Punahele Soriano in this one. I think Maximov takes his first loss in this fight against Punahele Soriano. Let's see, like, I guess he's taller than Soriano though. He's got the reach advantage. Okay, well, damn. I think that kind of changes things. Let me see. Because I could have sworn, like, I thought Brundage was bigger than Maximov. I could have sworn Brundage was a lot bigger than Maximov. Let's see. Maybe I'm remembering this. They're about the same height. They're same height. Yeah, so in this fight, though, 5'9" versus 6'1", I believe. No, 6 feet. Yeah, same height, 6 feet. But with that reach advantage, Maximov does have a 4-inch reach advantage. See, I didn't think about that. I just don't think Maximov is that good. I don't think he's that good right now to hang with Punahele Soriano. So I'm gonna go with Punahele Soriano. It'd be great if Maximov could prove me wrong, cause I'm just a random ass nigga. You know? Just a random ass nigga. So this last season of Ozark, Part 1, Season 4, Part 1. It's going to be a second part to come out. This spoiler alert, ladies and gentlemen. I'm about to babble about Ozark, ladies and gentlemen. Because this show is fucking amazing. Alright? Jason Bateman, great fucking actor. But, I feel like at this point, his character is like practically a background character just trying to survive life with Wendy, man. Like, I felt like since season 1 that like 85% of the problems they run to are all Wendy. Like, I've never rocked with Wendy. I feel like Wendy is the root of all evil. Like I say 85% because, Marty was doing some things that got them into this whole situation. He's not without blame here. He's not without fault. You know what I'm saying? So 85% of the problems that they have is all Wendy. Secondly, fuck Jonah, alright? Their son Jonah is a fucking bitch, first off. Secondly, he's a bitch. This nigga is openly working with the literal enemy. Niggas openly working with the enemy, telling the enemy the family's fucking crimes, how they covered it up, giving people clues so that they could fucking send shit back on his family that ultimately would send the cartel on his whole fucking family, i.e. himself. He's fucking himself over. He's not just fucking his parents over. This crazy nigga Javier is out here acting wild. He's killing everybody. And you're trying to send the fucking police and all these people in the direction of your fucking family. Fuck that dude. You know what I'm saying? I never liked Wendy. And, spoiler alert with this shit. But it's like fucking crazy, this show, man. I've always, especially by the third season, I felt like Wendy was definitely, like, at the end of the second season, Wendy was all in her queen pin mode. And in this season 4, part 1 or whatever, you got Wendy tries to fucking have Jonah arrested. Get his shit flagged by the FBI. He was laundering money for the enemy. And she fucking personally went and got, broke into his fucking shit, got the account numbers and all that shit, and got his shit flagged. Alright? In order to have her son, it was like, dude, yeah, Jonah's acting like a bitch, but this whole situation is sketchy. I've never been a fan. Well, I'm a fan of what's her name? Ruth. Ruth's cool. It's interesting though, the way this season was shot, there was certain the second to last episode of the first part of this last season here, they had a scene where Ruth and Wyatt were talking, And the way they were showing Wyatt's face, there was like some kind of weird close-up. I was like, yo, Wyatt's gonna die. Because they've never like shot anything in this way. Just the way they were shooting it, I was like, dude, something about the way they're shooting Wyatt's face close up like this tells me Wyatt's gonna die soon. And sure enough, they shoot that nigga in the face. I was like, damn, they was like foreshadowing that shit. It's a shot close up on his face that I thought, it was like, dude, that's just odd. It kind of stood out to me. Like, as it was happening, I was like, that's real odd. I was like, he's about to die. And sure enough, he died in the very next episode. And that's pretty much the cliffhanger for this next season. You know what I'm saying? It's, fucking Ruth is on a mission to try to kill this fucking cartel fucking head. The leader of a cartel? Are you fucking crazy? Just with her fucking 5 feet of rage, she's just somehow gonna take down the fucking leader of a cartel. All right. Nah, that dude wildin' though. He's wildin'. But this show is really good. If you guys are not watching Ozark, you guys are missing out, man. Because however this ends, it's going to be fucking crazy. This last season was brilliant. It was shot so well. Might talk to my wife in a little bit here about maybe starting Euphoria. Hear niggas talking about that shit a lot these days. You know what I'm saying? Might try to watch some of that shit. You know, it was interesting. A friend he mentioned to me. Well, actually, I was talking to my nigga Mark. Shout out to Mark. I was talking to my nigga Mark about we were talking about last week's episode and how I was talking about my friend Jabril and all the things that happened with that situation. And we were talking about how it's crazy that all these things are happening, like, with artists, like, all pretty much at the same time. Like, you know, all these local artists, all these situations are happening. It's happening with a lot of people. It is weird timing. And I was saying it's so crazy that, I was like, at least we haven't heard anything about, like, anything crazy about Classic. He's like, the last wholesome brother we got. And then it's interesting because then another friend of mine hit me up and mentioned to me that Classic just dropped there was just a video that Classic posted that was like a freestyle. It's like him, Genesis Renji, Cree Miles, and some kid. I didn't see the video, but he pointed out to me that at the end of the video, just like probably like one of the last shots of the video, you just see that, like, there's Webster X off to the side there. Like, which would imply that he was originally a part of this video, but they edited him out. So, I mentioned that as just, like, a little interesting update from all this. Like, it's just, like, the story that I was mentioning about Webster X beating his girlfriend. You know, it's on us as a people of how we proceed. And I guess we see how that group felt that it was in their best interest to remove him from the video as best as they could. There was that brief second that he was in there, but seems like it was in their best interest to have that nigga removed. So, shout out to y'all, if that's the case. Shout out to y'all. But yeah, I'm going to get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Thank you guys so much for rocking with me another week. Episode 128. All my goals. Change my life and all my goals. That's my shit right there. Shout out to James Blunt. But if you guys want to follow this podcast On Instagram and Twitter, it's at Babylon5Pod. You can follow my personal account at My Name's Jermaine. You can email this podcast at Babylon5Podcast@gmail.com. You guys should hit like. If you've made it this far, hit like. Anywhere that you're listening to this podcast right now, just hit like, share this shit with your friends. Do all the things to let them know you love this podcast. Head on over to twitch.tv/Babylon5 to follow this podcast on Twitch. Go head on over to teespring.com/store/BOFpod-shop. Cop a t-shirt or two, my nigga. And lastly, head on over to patreon.com/Babylon5Pod. And I am your boy, Jermaine Event. I'm getting up out of here. Thank you guys once again for being here. You've changed my life and all my goals. I'll see you guys next week. Hope you guys are great. And I'll see you when I see you. I'll holla.
Chant down Babylon kingdom. Team make we chant down Vatican now. Bang bling bling chant down Babylon kingdom. Team make we chant down Vatican now. Chant down Babylon kingdom. Team make we chant down Vatican now. Bang bling bling chant down Babylon kingdom. Team make we chant down